Jai Baba, I am Sorab. Baba has nicknamed me Bambia. And I am Rustum. Baba has nicknamed me Maruti. And we both are twins. Our association with Baba is since childhood, since birth. We both have been breastfed on Baba's love. Naturally, because my father is Baba's brother, and since birth we are with Baba. And as my mummy says, that Baba came to the hospital and named me Rustum and my brother Sorab. Since we remember our memories of since we were five years old. Baba used to frequently visit this house, and we were still about 6 or 7 years old. And Baba used to love to play marbles with us. And he was very good at marbles. Whenever he used to come to this house, he used to first go to his room over there. And after meeting everybody, he used to sit in Jal's room. I remember one day, I think it was in 1954 or 55, I don't remember. But Baba had come with his Mandali, and after meeting everybody and after going to his room, he was sitting in his Jal room. He asked me and Rustum to bring a bunch of marbles to play with him. Baba took the bunch of marbles and kept it on Jal's bed, and then he took one marble in his finger and smashed a shot at the bunch of marbles. The shot was so forceful, I still remember that he must have broken about 2 marbles. And then immediately he left the house and went on his tour. The next day, we heard the news that Baba's car had met with an accident in which Dr. Neelu had died. There is always some significance in Baba's playing marbles or his gestures or whatever he says. So the breaking of the marble coincides with Neelu's death in the accident. Since childhood, when Baba used to come every year in summer to Guru Prasad, and he used to always call us, and we were assigned duties. Me and my brother used to clean Guru Prasad every day, sweep the floors, clean the statues which are in Guru Prasad, and do a lot of work. And after that, we used to go and sit with Baba with the Mandali. Then Baba used to sometimes ask us to crack jokes. We used to crack jokes. Especially there was one summer when he used to daily ask us to bring a few jokes and ask us to tell him some jokes. And Baba used to have a very hearty laugh. But whenever we used to tell him jokes, Baba used to always tell us that I am coming down to human level and I am listening to your jokes and laughing with you all. But never forget that I am God in human form. And that we used to always carry in our mind. Then Baba used to sometimes go for outings, visiting houses, sometimes visiting gardens in Pune, and we used to always go out with him. And we used to enjoy it. And there used to be a lot of people in the Mandali. I mean, Mandali means Baba's lovers. There used to be some weddings or some certain festivals, and there used to be very good parties, lunch parties, sometimes ice cream parties, and Baba used to always enjoy us seeing eat heavily. And then of course he used to make us work also a lot. That is sweeping the floors, cleaning the statues, because we used to have vacations at that time in the school. But he used to make us work because we were very fat. And he wanted us to reduce. And he used to always say jokingly that if you work hard, you will reduce. That is why he had nicknamed me and Rustum as Bombay and Maruti. Bombay and Maruti were supposed to be 2 very fat wrestlers. After we had graduated school, Baba had given us orders. And he had told us to obey those orders till we die. The first order is that we have to smoke only 5 cigarettes. Because previously we used to smoke a lot. So he asked us to smoke only 5 cigarettes a day. Then he asked us to see only 5 movies a month. We were very fond of seeing movies. Then we were asked not to have any alcoholic drinks. No alcohol. And he had asked us no womanizing. That means we had never to go to a woman. And we up till now we have obeyed his orders, and we will always obey his orders till we die. And we enjoy that obeying his orders, because we know it is for our own good. And when God has given the orders himself, we are very fortunate. Baba used to enjoy me and Rustum getting up from the floor when we used to sit in front of him. Whenever Baba used to get up to leave and go to his room, all the Mandali used to get up. And because of our weight, it was very difficult for us to get up at once. We had to turn round and get up. And he used to enjoy very much seeing this.
About those. Once we had staged a play in front of Baba. That is, my brother, he acted as Baba himself, and I had become Meheraj. And that was the time when Baba laughed a lot. And he embraced us both and kissed us on our cheeks. Then in December 68, is it December 68? In December 68, my uncle Adi, his son was to get married in Meherazad. And Baba had called a lot of people for this ceremony. And we were all sitting in front of him. Baba was brought in a wheelchair. And we were asked to take his darshan. But not to touch his feet or kiss him, but just to bow down in front of him and walk off in a line. I remember Baba had said that those people who had all gathered there were very, very fortunate, because he said, the way you are seeing me now, you will not be able to see me while I give my darshan in 69, when all the foreigners will come. And that really, what he said was right, because Baba dropped his physical body in January 69. January 69. Then Baba, during that ceremony, asked me and my brother and one of my friend Bejan to come up and sing a song for him. And we sang a song, A Hole in the Bucket. And Baba enjoyed it very much. And I feel we were very fortunate, because soon after that song, Baba asked us to kiss him on his cheeks. And we were really fortunate, because that was the last kiss we had planted on Baba's physical cheek. And we were very lucky. Do you remember something?
I remember when I was about 14 years old, I had dressed up as an American lady. And at that time, Baba was in Guru Prasad. During that year, no one was allowed to have his darshan. Not anybody, not even foreigners. But of course, when suppose a foreigner used to come, or a lover from very far off used to come and want to have his darshan, Baba of course used to give darshan. He used to never refuse, because he was always compassionate, and he would never want anybody to go with a broken down heart. And at that time, I had dressed up as an American lady and went to Guru Prasad in a taxi. I bet nobody could recognize me, because I was so well disguised. As I entered the steps of Guru Prasad, Iraj met me and asked me, from where have you come? I said, I've come from Los Angeles. What's your name? I just gave him an imaginary name. And of course, then later on, I told him that I am Sorab disguised as Iraj. And he was very much surprised. Then he asked me to go to Baba. Everybody, all the Mandali was sitting in the room. I went into the room, but believe it or not, Baba at the first glance recognized me as Sorab. But he kept the joke to himself. He wanted to see the reaction of his Mandli. Then naturally Baba started asking me from where have I come, how have I come, how was the trip, what did I eat, where did I stay. These were all the questions because Baba was very particular about people coming to him. He used to ask each and every question about their comforts, about their well-being. And nobody recognized me. Then Baba rang the bell and called Mani. Of course, Mani being my aunt, she also did not recognize me. Then she asked Mani to take me to Mehra. And I was quite afraid a little bit because at that time no males were allowed to go in front of Mehra. Then Mani took me to Mehra, gave my introduction to her. She was very happy and she was about to embrace me. And at that time, Mani told Mehra, of course, that I was Sorab. And then Baba had a good laugh and all the Mandali had a good laugh and they all were very surprised.
We have a servant in the house. His name is Narya. He is with us since childhood. But when he talks, he stammers a lot. So whenever even he used to come to Guru Prasad, Baba used to always call him and ask him to say something of Guru Prasad. And when he used to say, he used to stammer a lot and Baba used to have a hearty laugh and embrace him. I would like you to introduce him to you all. Narya? He is with us since childhood. Guru Prasad.
बाबा मला पुस्तकाचं नाव बाबा पुस्तकाचं मला बंगल्याचं नाव होतं बंगल्याचं नाव मी असं सांगायचं गुरुप्रसाद ती आठकडे जय बाबा
He told that when Baba used to call him, he used to ask him to say Guru Prasad. And that's just what he repeated in front of you all. Now we are 26 years old.
Now we are 26 years old. In October 68, Mani had asked Baba regarding our marriage. That time Baba asked Mani how much they are earning and he asked all the details. But he told Mani that they will marry after 3 years. We are engaged now and our 3 years will be completed in November and we both will be married. We would like to introduce to you our fiancés. Shanada. This is my fiancé Shahnaz.
Jai Baba.
And this is my fiancé Parveen.
Jai Baba.
That's all. How much do you want me to say now?
When we were young in school, we were very fat. And boys from the school, we used to always tease us fatty or something which used to irritate us a lot. And especially our tempers were, we were very hot tempered. And we used to always hit the boys back. It so happened that one day, a boy teased us a lot. And I went and hammered him very badly. So Baba came to know about it. Because the school authorities complained about it. So Baba scolded us a lot. And we took the scolding from God himself. Then Baba gave us an order saying that even if the boys tease you all keep on repeating my name. And you should never hit a person unless and until he hits you all first. But Baba had told us to hit a person in self-defense. That I remember very well.
About Baba telling us to hit in self-defense, there is an incident to it. Some of the boys, they started saying something against Baba about his divinity. which provoked us a lot. Especially because he was our uncle also. But at that time, Baba had said that not to hit back anybody. So we just had an argument, and those boys started hitting me and Rustam. But we kept quiet without saying anything, because as it was Baba's orders not to hit back. And then when we had gone to Guru Prasad the next day, we had told Baba about this, and we had even told that at that time my father Behram had told that they had an hammering from the boys. And it was during that time Baba had said that if someone hits you first or hits you again and again, then only in self-defense you must hit them back. That is how the incident is.
Now,
Well, there is no question that what convinced us. We were born in Baba family. We were breastfed on his love. And as we grew up, we loved Baba. And Baba said, he's God, so he's God. And we have full faith that he is God. So there is the question of what convinced us is not there.
well, a lot of people.
Well, I remember Baba had said that there will be many saints, many Sadgurus, and many people who will claim that they are avatars. But since you love me and you believe me that I am God, so we believed him. There's no question of belief. We know that he is God. And as Baba has said, there are many people in India who have said that they are God, or who have said they are saints, or they are on the plains. And especially there's one Satya Sai Baba who proclaims that he is the avatar of this, he is God and he is a reincarnation of Sai Baba. So there is no question that the question does not arise that we should believe that he is the incarnation of God, or he is the Sai Baba himself, because Baba has said that these things are bound to happen, these confusions are bound to happen. But it is we that we should hold on to his Dharma till the very end. And naturally, because we believe that Baba is God. And we will keep on holding on to his Dharma till we breathe last. There is no such thing as a time when Baba killed our hearts with.
We used to always see him.
Yes. Whenever we used to see him, our hearts would be full of love for him. So there is no specific time as such when Baba killed our hearts with love. Our hearts were killed.
We were always
We were always dead with our hearts full of his love. We had a dog, a small silky Sydney. His name was Mickey. And whenever Baba used to come to this house, he would be so happy and would always jump on Baba and would want Baba to hug him and play with him and pet him. And Baba liked him very much. Whenever Baba used to come to this house, he used to always feed him with sweets. And Baba would laugh because it is quite peculiar for a dog to eat sweets. We both were very fond of acting, and we have taken quite a lot of part. We have taken part in quite a lot of dramas. Baba liked us acting in dramas because they were all for charity. Once we were both selected by the Film Institute of India to act in a short film. But Baba had disapproved because he said that he does not like us to act in films. The shooting was about to take place a day later, and just the night before we received a telegram that Rustum Sorab should not act in films. We do not know why, but Baba disapproved of us acting in films. Then I remember when we started working in the factories, Baba asked us to work very hard, to be very, very honest and always obey the superiors. And Baba said that my nazar will be always on you too if you work hard. He said, if you work hard, you will come up in life. And that's what we are. We are coming up in life.
because we are obeying Baba's orders 100%. And we will always obey till we breathe our last. Stop.
Rustum and Sorab. Now, I'd like to hear a little bit about some of the incidents that you had with Baba, of some of his delicious humor. Humorous things that occurred when you were with Meher Baba.
Well, I just told him everything. Well, he used to like a lot of jokes. And if you want, we can tell you a joke which he had enjoyed a lot. Rustam, tell the joke. I don't remember any jokes. Now I can't get it in my... One joke which I had told Baba and which he had enjoyed very much was that there were three friends staying on the 90th floor of Empire State Building in New York. One was an American, one was a Frenchman, and one was a Sardar Indian. So all of them had gone out for a late night show, and they returned late in the night. That is about 11 o'clock. At that time, all the lifts of the Empire State Building had stopped. So they had to climb up 90 stories. So all the three of them decide that while we are climbing up to our room, each of us will tell a story. The American said, I will tell you a war story. The Frenchman said, I'll tell you a love story. And the Indian said, I'll tell you a tragedy. Well, so the Americans they all started climbing up, and the American started telling them a war story. He talked about all the great wars that America has fought, and anyhow they reached the 30th floor. Then the Frenchman said, now for the next 30th floor I'll tell you a love story. So the Frenchman started telling them all the love stories of France. They reached the 60th floor. Now they told the Indian, come on, it's your turn, you tell us a tragic one. The Indian said, oh sir, I cannot tell you, I don't know what story, I cannot remember any tragic story. They kept on forcing him till they reached the room door. The room door. So they said, at least now we have reached the room door, you please give us a tragic story. He said, no, if I tell you a tragic story, you will start hammering me, you will start beating me, you will start abusing me. They said, no, we won't tell you anything, but you please tell us a tragic story. He said, the tragic story is that I've forgotten the room key in the car. So,
How did Baba respond to that?
oh, Baba just laughed very heartily.
Now that we've heard the happy side, let's hear the sad side. Something about crying. How Baba would make you cry.
The time Baba made us cry was whenever he used to come for the summer to Guru Prasad, and when he used to leave, he used to always make us cry because of his physical departure to Merazad. But the most he made us cry was when he dropped his physical body. Though we know that Baba is God, Baba is always present, Baba is always near us, Baba is with us. But still, I and my brother did miss his physical form a lot. And that is the time I have ever cried the most in my life. Even though we knew that Baba was God, Baba is God, and Baba is always with us, but still we miss, to this day, his physical form very much. Even though we know that Baba is with us every time, still I miss his physical form. That was the time when Baba made us cry the most, when he dropped his physical body.
Was there ever a time of any kind of dangerous crisis that you can remember that you had to bring to Baba's attention?
Yes. About 12 years back now, we were still schooling. We were 14 or 15 years old. That time my sister was to get married to Jhangu. About 20 days before the marriage, we all had been to Meherazad. Baba had called us. And that time we embraced Baba and we met him. But before the departure, Baba had told my mother and my sister that for 3 days, you all should take complete rest. You all should not work at all, not even cook food, but to take complete rest. Now we did not know what was behind all this, but Baba's orders were orders. So my mother and my sister took complete rest. They did not even cook food. We had to bring food from the hotels. After 3 days, my father was taken very severely ill. He had an ulcer in the stomach and the ulcer had bursted. My father was in great pain and agony and we did not know what to do. My mother was continuously praying in Baba's room. We had called a doctor. Now there were only 12 days left for my sister's marriage. The doctor said that he is in great danger and if you do not shift him to the hospital, he might die. But my father would not want to go to the hospital because he was reluctant to be present at my sister's wedding. And if something had to happen, my sister's wedding would have been cancelled. So we forced him, we told him that for Baba's sake, you come to the hospital. And we had to physically take him to the hospital even though he resisted. That was night time. The doctors had an emergency operation on him and he was brought back to his wardroom. The doctor said that he might live, he might not live, he might die. It is all upon God's will now. So immediately we had telegrammed a wire to Baba. So we all were praying and we all were very much worried. So we received a telegram from Baba saying that do not cancel the wedding plans. Carry on with it. My nazar is on Behram. Love, Baba. At the very sight we had on that telegram, we all were convinced that everything was safe and nothing would be wrong. The doctor had told us that if he lives for that night, he might live further. And he did live for that night. And we all were very happy. But the doctor said that he will have to be kept for about a month in the hospital and he cannot go about anywhere. But to everyone's surprise, my father was relieved from the hospital after 6 days. And he was present for the wedding, for my sister's wedding in Bombay. Even though we had to take him on a stretcher, he was present there and everything worked out fine by Baba's will and grace. This is one incident which I have related to you, will always be in my memory.
Rustum, you have an incident in the factory that you just remembered that you'd like to tell us about.
Yes. When I was working in one factory in Chinchwad, it's quite far off from Pune, I was in regular night shifts. That is from midnight till dawn. And I had heard people say that there are ghosts around here. You see, some of my workmen had related stories that when they used to sleep during the break hour, they used to feel a sort of a human body sitting on their chest and trying to strangle them, and they couldn't breathe. And all of a sudden it would disappear, and they would feel as if they were free. And you see, that really made me quite curious. And then I started wondering whether did ghosts really exist. You see, I had heard a lot of stories, ghost stories and all, people talking about ghosts and all. But you see, even in front of me, a person had experienced such a thing. And he had awoken suddenly from his sleep, and he was all perspiring, and he started telling to our workmen that such and such thing happened. And it really did scare me for a moment. Even more than scaring me, it made me very inquisitive. So it so happened that Baba was in Pune in Guru Prasad during the summertime, and we all were sitting in front of him. So it suddenly struck to my mind whether I should ask Baba whether ghosts really existed. And I did ask Baba in front of everyone that Baba, do really ghosts exist? And Baba was full of laughter. And he asked me, why are you asking this? And I related to him the story which he told me. Then which the workers told me. And Baba asked me, have you experienced such a thing? Or have you seen a ghost? I said, no Baba, I haven't seen till now. Baba said that ghosts do exist. There are souls, Baba said, wandering souls, and which people do experience by seeing them or feeling them. So Baba said that if at all you see a ghost, you repeatedly take my name. And that really, every time I used to go to the factory, during my lunch period before I used to go to sleep, I used to just lie down and take Baba, 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 Baba all the time. And till today I haven't experienced any ghost or something, but it does convince me that ghosts do exist.
Did you ever have any such experience?
No, I never had any ghost experiences.
Maybe you had something else.
Yeah. I'll relate to you something about Baba's anger as well as compassion. I remember when Baba was in summer in Guru Prasad, because it was usually in the summer when Baba used to come to Guru Prasad and we used to be near him. Otherwise, we very rarely used to visit Meherazad. That is also as per if Baba wished. But at Guru Prasad, we used to be there every day. In the afternoons, Baba used to distribute cold drinks to his mandali. And there was a servant who used to always prepare the cold drink and make it ready for Baba to come and share it with all the mandali. I think Baba was very particular about punctuality. He always wanted things to be done in time, and always whenever he used to tell anybody to come to visit him, the person should be in time. Baba was very particular about punctuality. Baba repeatedly inquired whether the cold drink is ready, and it was delayed about by some 5 or 6 minutes. Then Baba came to the cold drinks to share it with the mandali.
These are cold drinks?
Cold drinks.
Yeah.
Yes, cold drinks. Squashes. And he asked the servant that why it was late. So he gave some excuse, and Baba was very angry, and he took a glass of cold drink and threw the cold drink on his body. Then we all had our cold drinks and we sat in his room. But Baba, being God and being compassionate, he called the servant again, kissed him, embraced him, and then asked him not to make such a mistake again. So this shows the two sides of Baba, his anger and his compassion. Though he was angry with the servant, immediately after a few moments, he again was compassionate, and he kissed the servant and he embraced him and then sent him back.
This is my friend Bejan, who had always been with us and who loves Baba very much. Well, we are going to sing a song to you today, which we had sung for Baba in December 1968 at the wedding ceremony of Dara, that is my uncle's son, at Merazad. Well, he had played the drums on this vessel and we had sung this song for him, A Hole in the Bucket. We are going to sing it to you as we had sung for Baba. And we at the present are singing for Baba. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. There's a hole.
Then mend it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then mend it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then mend it.
With what shall I mend it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I mend it, dear Liza? With what?
With a straw, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With a straw, dear Henry, with a straw.
But the straw is too long, dear Liza, dear Liza. But the straw is too long, dear Liza, too long.
Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then cut it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then cut it.
With what shall I cut it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I cut it, dear Liza? With what?
With an axe, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With an axe, dear Henry, dear Henry. With an axe.
But the axe is too blunt, dear Liza, dear Liza. But the axe is too blunt, dear Liza, too blunt.
Then sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then sharpen it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then sharpen it.
On what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza, dear Liza? On what shall I sharpen it, dear Liza? On what?
On a stone, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. On a stone, dear Henry, on a stone.
But the stone is too dry, dear Liza, dear Liza. But the stone is too dry, dear Liza, too dry.
Then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it, dear Henry, dear Henry. Then wet it.
With what shall I wet it, dear Liza, dear Liza? With what shall I wet it, dear Liza? With what?
With water, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. With water, dear Henry, with water.
In what shall I fetch it, dear Liza, dear Liza? In what shall I fetch it, dear Liza? In what?
In a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry, dear Henry. In a bucket, dear Henry, dear Henry. In a bucket.
But there's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza, dear Liza. There's a hole in the bucket, dear Liza. There's a hole. Jai Baba, Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai.